Okay, so just a really quick brief video about the writing that's coming up on Friday. Okay, so you're going to write a speech, and the question is on page 120 of your textbook, and I have divided into different colors as you can see. The yellow part, that's about your role and your what your task is. Okay, so it tells you very clearly you're writing a speech at the school's weekly assembly, so that's very important. The setting is very important. And then there are three parts that you must complete. Okay, so they're in three different colors. I'm pretty sure you can read it from your book as well. So let's get cracking. Oh, by the way, you have to sign. No, you don't have to sign. You have to tell people you're Chris Wong. Okay, so introduce yourself. And that's in the very beginning. Okay, it's like when you imagine like morning assemblies. Okay, when you come out, you greet everyone and then you introduce yourself. Okay, so you have to write all those things in words. Okay, on the script. Okay, on the writing paper. Okay, uh, if this is part A, because like this is really part A, is 100, 200 words. Okay. What happened in the DSE is sometimes they print the greeting part for you. Okay, it's been done before. They really print the first few lines. Okay, so in case they don't print it, then you must be ready. Okay, so you start with a greeting and then you introduce yourself. Okay, right. Now moving on for the content, as I said, there are three parts. So the first part is your involvement, how you got involved in esports, and how you got involved in organizing the school's first tournament. So there were actually two things that you have to write about in the first part. And so don't miss one of them. Okay, I know it's short writing, but you have to include all the necessary components. Okay, so I'm expecting a mind map. Okay, after you watch this video. So here are some leading questions for you. Okay, you can pause the video and draw your mind map now if you want. Okay, for part two, you're going to highlight the tournament. This is the part where you are kind of like retelling people what happened. So you're almost like a very short story. Okay, so you'll be using past tense for this part. Okay, right? Actually, you'll be using past tense for most of the writing. Okay, because you have to tell people how you got involved in esports as well. Don't worry. In the next slide, I will talk about the technique to do this. Okay, so anyway, back here in the blue box, it's a descriptive writing, so you have to tell people what you see, what you hear, the reason being they were not there. Okay, so you're using your words, you're standing in front of the whole school, you're telling them what happened during that day. Okay, and then at the very end you have to give a little summary. Right, this is just an extra touch. Right, maybe you're trying to bring out a message. Okay, so you're going to highlight why esports or doing this tournament is it's great. It's great for the school. It's great for the students. Why? Okay, so just maybe 2 3 lines. Give a brief summary before you move on to the last part, which is why is the tournament meaningful? Okay, so immediately it links to the end of the second part. Right, and then you can share about what you learned throughout organizing this tournament. Okay, so I have given you some pointers already. Remember that PowerPoint slide with the psychological benefits of doing sports. Okay, so remember when I told you that this unit, okay, on sports communication is not really just about sports. It's also about organizing events, doing those things. So the psychological and social benefits they also carry forward to this writing here. You're organizing a sporting event, okay? So you may not be talking about like the benefits of a sport, but the things you learn there you can also carry to how to organize an event. So there are several psychological factors. For example, leadership. Okay, so you can work with that. Teamwork. You can do something about that. Okay, so when you mind map, take out that PowerPoint slide from earlier. Okay, you should have copied it in your notebook. Okay, and then see if you can cook up something. All right. Now, for language, this is the part where I tell you, you're standing in front of the school. You're giving a speech. Okay, so there are several things you have to be aware of. Number one, you have to sound personal because it's really coming from you. Okay, so this is unlike writing an article or a report. Okay, this time you can sound personal, be yourself. Okay, second part, sound relatable because you're a student, you're talking to your fellow schoolmates. Okay, so make sure that you're not writing in a lecturing tone, so you're like doing a friendly sharing, okay? But in the meantime, you have to be polite as well because we are in a morning assembly, okay? So the teachers will be there, the principal will be there, okay? Now the two parts in red, that's what I'm talking about. First, use anecdotes. Anecdotes is just very short recounts of the past. So they're like very short stories of the past. That's what the meaning of anecdote is. And anecdotes uh, is trying to drive home a point. So you're using those short stories to point out something. Okay. So what got, for example, I'm just giving an example. So what got you involved in the tournament might be perhaps you have attended one outside of the school yourself and you really enjoy it and you thought that your fellow schoolmates would also enjoy it and learn from it, so you wanted to organize such an event in the school. Okay, so see, there's a point in recounting the story. Okay, so it's leading to the following steps. All right, so that's the meaning of an anecdote. So a very good technique in speech is using anecdotes. Okay, it's much better than just simple PowerPoint lectures. You know, if you think about university lectures, they just point one, point two, point three. Okay, and nothing connects things together, everything together. Okay, right. And then the next part would be reflections. Reflections is like at the end of your writing. Okay, so it's like the last part is asking you why is it meaningful. Okay, so you're reflecting on what you've learned and why is it important. Why is it important to learn teamwork? Why is it important to learn leadership? Okay, so you have to talk about this as well. Okay, very briefly. Okay, remember it's a short writing, it's write about 200 words. Okay, of course if you can write more, definitely write more. I encourage you to write more. Okay, but again, we'll be writing in class, so there's a time limit. Okay, and after this video, you can start working on the mind map, upload the mind map to Schoology, and I'll see you on Friday. Right? Now, last reminder. There are many wonderful vocabulary we have learned throughout this week, and I've told you to note them all down in your notebook. Okay. This unit in sports communication, the vocabulary are some of the easiest. Okay, so like you're comparing to like workplace communication or social issue. This unit has a lot of easy vocabulary that's easy to remember and has an oomph. It's like it's quite powerful words. Okay, so it's a good it's a good way for you to demonstrate to the examiner you know your stuff. Okay, so in case you choose this module when you do DSE paper 2, okay, so those words are very important. And obviously for paper 4 speaking, okay, those words can carry you a long way. Okay, so do try to add more in your writing this time. Okay, so I'll see you later. All right, bye bye.